Hey guys, Flamingo here, your coach of the Forex Attack. Today we are going through what has been one hell of a draft experience with the PDPL Season 2. So I'd like to thank Dan, Ryan and Otto for having me back again. So this was the same league that had the sort of seller stealer team last season that had no offense. But a few things have changed this season. So one, we're in a different game now. So we've got Scarlet and Violet, which means no Max, but we do have Terra. And Dan, Ryan, and Otto also changed the point structure as well. So there was a lot of very top-heavy teams last season, and I have a feeling they didn't want that again this season. So we had less points. We had 40 less points to spend. Last season we had 500 points. This time we had 460 points. But we also, everything was more expensive, at least at the top end. So the tier ones were 120 points and tier twos were 90 points. And I think even the tier threes may have gone up to 60 points. So all the top end stuff was more expensive. We had less points to play with. So there's some real funky teams compared to a normal draft. It's a lot lower power. And people have had to draft some sort of creative stuff. So yeah, interesting. So we have 460 points. We have 7 tiers that we can draft from, and yeah, I was 4th pick. So my sort of game plan going in was start with the bulky water and build out from there. So my 2 highest picks were Palafin and followed by Walking Wake. And by the time it got to me, I actually got the Palafin on the first round. Which I'm super stoked with. I've been using it a lot just in VGC in general, so I just wanted to get some more practice with it, and it was something I was comfortable with. So I thought I'd start off with the comfort pick, and then kind of branch out from there. So it was tier 2, and I thought, oh, you could argue this is tier 1. So I thought I'll get something super good value from tier 2, and then build around it from there. Because Walking Wake was also tier 2, the new Paradox Suicune Pokemon. So I've got my Palafin. Next, I wanted something that could support it, and I haven't seen this a lot, if at all, in regular sort of VGC. So I thought I'd give this sort of pairing a go, and I actually picked up Raichu with the Lightning Rod. So last season I had Manectric, but with the lack of Dynamax, I think Raichu is really good. You know, fake out support, nuzzle support, and just that Lightning Rod ability. Draw away those electric attacks from the aimed at at the Palafin. So my next pick, you could probably say was a bit of a mistake. Not the actual Pokemon itself, but getting it this early. Probably could have left it a little bit longer. But the other thing I've been using in regular VGC is Gothitelle. So it was 60 points. I didn't really want to spend, or was it 90 points? It was 90 points. I didn't want to spend 90 points on it. So I got Gothitelle Light. I got Gothorita. So it also has the Shadow Tag ability, lets me trap in the opponents, but I can put Eviolite on it, which does make it extremely bulky. Next, I think I had been sniped once. I was kind of umming and ahhing about Tauros Blaze. That's why I ended up getting the Gothorita. Dan ended up getting the Tauros Blaze, which is okay. I wasn't super set on it. So my next pick, I was super set. I'm like, going to get Iron Jugulus. I don't think it fits on anyone else's team too good between the 2 people that were drafting before me. And that person picked it. So that was KS Knight Rider, who you're going to be hearing a lot throughout this video. Fuck that guy. So anyway, Iron Jugulus got picked. So I was going to go for Iron Jugulus Gengar this round. Gengar gives me a strong special attacker. But, you know, also has that Perish Song, which can team up with the Gothorita. Not too much to say about Gengar. Has some cool, nifty stuff it can use. And I thought, you know, Iron Jugulus, Gothorita, Gengar would have been really cool to sort of have. But, you know, that kind of got fucked up. So I went right down, low tier, tier 5. And I picked up Iron Thugulus or Honchkrow. Okay, so it just gives me that dark and flying type. bit more physically offensive, base 125 attack, but also base 105 special attack. So that's pretty cool. Has Tailwind, Icy Wind, Sucker Punch. Yeah, cool shit. So I'm looking forward to using this guy. I don't think Honchkrow gets a whole lot of use. Murkrow gets way more use, but it was tier 2. So yeah, got Honchkrow. Next up, I'm quite fast. If we look at my speed tiers, the Palafin is like 100 speed, Gengar's 110, Raichu's 110. I've got a Trick Room Setter with Gothorita, so I thought I should get something for that, and I picked up Copperaja. Never used Copperaja before. It was tier 7, tier 4 for 40 points. So yeah, it's just a slow physical attacker. I don't think it's too much to say there. Has a swollen HP stat and not the greatest defensive stats, but it's got a very nice base 130 attack. So I can get this guy going in Trick Room. I feel it can definitely get some good KOs. After Copperaja, I wanted a grass type. I didn't really want any of the low tier grass types. So I went to tier 3 and I picked up Ye Old Faithful Rotom. I think I draft Rotom in pretty much every time I play this damn game. But I've gone the Rotom-Mo variant this time. This just gives me another special attacker because I was quite physical outside of the Gengar. And I guess you could kind of say Honchkrow also a bit of a special attacker, but mainly physical attack there. So I wanted something that was grass and something that was special attacking and something to resist ground. It has Levitate, so it is immune to ground. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And then my next pick was, so I got sort of sniped on that Tauros Blaze. I've got Tauros Aqua in the Great Lakes Draft League. So I wanted to give Tauros Blaze a go. I didn't get it, but I did get something cheaper and not too far different from Tauros Blaze, and that's Tauros Combat. It's the pure fighting type, so it doesn't get that extra little stab, which is quite nice. But still gives me that Intimidate. I could use like Kudchu or something like that as well. Base 100 speed, so it's another faster one. Unfortunately, I didn't get any of the what are they called? Paradox Pokemon. So typical me, just like MDL, didn't really take full advantage of the format that we're playing in. But that's all right. That's all right. No Ruined Pokemon, no Paradox Pokemon. So I've only got 45 points left now. And I was going after Shroodle, followed by Riolu. And two people, so KS Knight Rider again. Oh, look at that guy. He picked up the Shroodle. And then Panda, who was just before me, picked up the Riolu. So I actually ended up going with the Tauros and hoping that the next Pokemon got back to me, and it didn't. It was Impidimp. So Impidimp doesn't give me that prankster weather like Shroodle or Riolu does, but I still get fake outs and screens and just a quite an annoying little guy. This is my second of 3 NFEs that I've drafted. That's the other thing about this league is because of the wacky point system, there's a lot more NFEs being drafted than a lot of other leagues I've been in. So I've got 30 points left, which means I can get a tier 5 and a tier 7 or 2 tier 6s. I opted to get a tier 5 because I'm severely lacking a fire type at the moment. And I was looking to get Flareon, but who would have thought? KS Knight Rider sniped that off me as well. So I left it for too long. I lost it. So I ended up going with Houndoom, which isn't too bad. Houndoom's got some pretty cool moves it has on it. Gives me another special attacker, which isn't too bad. Because again, I am quite physically offensive. I'm starting to get a bit more even spread across the physical and special now. But it gives me that fire immunity. I was building up a bit of a fire weakness. I was getting a bit of a ghost weakness. This helped there as well. This kind of helped everywhere. So leaves me with 5 points, which is a single tier 7. I've just finished playing DPDL. Spoiler, I got knocked out in the first round of playoffs or finals, whatever you want to call it. and I actually picked up one of the Pokemon that I had in that league, and that was Hoppip. Um, Hoppip was one of two redirectors in Tier 7, the other one being Scatterbug, which Panda picked up. I wasn't even looking at it, didn't even think about it, but Hoppip I quite like because it gives me another Tailwind setter, not a particularly fast one, but I do have things like Pollen Puff and Helping Hand, Sleep Powder, a lot of really good supportive moves that I can use on this Hoppip. Um, don't really see myself putting an Eviolite on Hoppip or the Impidimp um, because they are so frail. So I think I am pretty safe, like looking into Eviolite if most weeks I don't bring Gothorita. Um, can see a sash on this guy more than anything, but it's the yeah. Um, Helps with a bit of a ground weakness I was starting to develop as well. But so yeah, that's my team. That's my team, guys. I should probably give a big overview of it all. So round one went Palafin uh, from tier two. Then I went the Raichu from tier three. Third round I picked up Gothorita from tier four. Then I went back up and got Gengar from tier three. Got the Honchkrow from tier 5, followed by the Copperaja in tier 4. Got the Rotom specifically in tier 3. Got the Tauros Combat from tier 4. Tier 6 Impidimp, tier 5 Houndoom, and finally tier 7 Hoppip. So that's me, guys. I'm really looking forward to this season. Like, some of these teams are so fucking wacky compared to what I'm used to, and I'm sure what a lot of the other coaches are used to as well in draft league. Much lower power. Like, there might be one or two really hard hitters. Then there's a lot of like what would generally be mediocre hitters, but I think in this league they're going to be hard hitters. Lots of NFEs. Yeah, a lot of really good Pokemon left on the board just purely because of how much they cost. Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this season plays out. Anyway, guys, that's me logging off. I will see you all hopefully soon for Great Lakes Draft League battle, and hopefully soon for my week one of the PDPL. Thanks again, Dan, Ryan, and Otto for having me. Have a good one, guys.